These marches have become a regular feature in London since the conflict in Gaza began in October 2023. Now, the protesters here today are demanding that the new Prime Minister, Andy Burnham, puts more pressure on Israel, including sanctions and an end to arms exports, as well as greater support for Palestinian statehood and an immediate permanent ceasefire. But do they have any confidence that things will change?
I believe really strongly in the Palestinian cause for freedom and justice, and I'm horrified that the UK government is still supporting the genocide. We have arms factories in this country that are sending weapons to Israel, and people in Gaza are still being massacred, and people across Palestine are still being thrown out of their homes, and there's no justice for them.
We're going to see a new Prime Minister on Monday, Andy Burnham. What message do you have for Andy Burnham?
Andy Burnham has said that the UK government got things slightly wrong, but he hasn't said what he's going to do. He hasn't said it's a genocide, which it is, and we have a duty to prevent, the state has a duty to prevent genocide, the risk of genocide. So there needs to be sanctions, not just 1 or 2 sanctions against random settlers, but comprehensive sanctions against the Israeli government. We need to stop all arms sales. We need to stop all trade with Israel. It feels as if almost all Labour politicians are afraid in some way to speak out about what Israel is doing. It's not anti-Semitic to say that Israel is committing genocide. It's not anti-Semitic to say that Israel is oppressing the Palestinian people and has done for years. I have many, many friends here who are Jewish. I'm of partly Jewish heritage myself, and I just completely reject the allegation that anything that we do when we stand up for Palestinian people is anti-Semitic. It's not. But it seems as though almost all Labour politicians are just reluctant to say anything that condemns what Israel is doing. That isn't condemning Jewish people, it's condemning Israel.
They've done a very good PR job on him, trying to make him the man of the people. He's an ordinary man. But it's going to be the same old austerity. I've not heard anything new from this week. All I've heard is a lot of rhetoric, which is things are going to change, things are going to change. A little bit like when Keir Starmer came in, and actually he did the complete opposite of what he said he was going to do. We are with the people of Gaza. They're an oppressed people, and there's a genocide going on. And the first thing that Andy Burnham has got to do, he's got to acknowledge there's a genocide going on. How many genocidal acts does he need for it to be declared a genocide? The United Nations has declared what's going on. Targeting of children and babies is a genocide. Now, if we all know that, the general public knows that, why can't Andy Burnham say it?
Well, first of all, he has to recognize that there is an occupation and there is an ongoing genocide. He has not been able to do that so far, but at least he has taken on the issue and talked about Palestine. But I hope that he is not doing it to ensure that he becomes more popular and gets the votes of the progressives. I want him to recognize the genocide and then definitely support the Palestinian state. And of course, he needs to oppose Donald Trump and Israel. It is very important that they stop arming Israel. If they genuinely want a ceasefire, then stopping arming Israel is the most important thing to do. So, welcome Andy Burnham, but we need to see action.
They have to stop supporting state of Israel and stop genocide and recognize state of Palestine. These are the simple things they have to do. There is nothing complicated about it. It is a question of humanity, and humanity demand a correction of historical wrongdoing.
We obviously heard what he said recently. It was kind of a bit of an apology for Keir Starmer's stance on cutting off food, water and electricity. But I judge people by their actions, not their words, yeah? So the issue for me is that Israel and the Israeli lobby is quite deeply embedded into politics in the UK. So many MPs on both sides of the House kind of get funding from Israel lobbies. So I'm a bit skeptical as to what really can Andy Burnham do, and the proof will be in the pudding. So if he could take actions like sanctions on Israel, stop dealing with the settlements, full arms embargo, if he can then also say, okay, banning the likes of Palestine Action, who are, let's face it, they're not a terrorist group. If he takes tangible action like that, then I'll say, you know what, he's going to make a change. If he just talks vaguely about the two-state solution, we think it's wonderful, but does nothing on the ground that changes the reality for the people of Palestine, then I think it's going to be more of the same.
Well, he did say that it was, it was a long time coming to do anything with Keir Starmer. So I expect him to do something really quick. So like, here, actions speak louder than words, and I'm looking forward to that.